And we're back to the next tutorial. We are moving on from the items that we've created, and now we want an inventory to show on the screen that we can select the items and scroll through the items. So let's move back to Unity, and what we're going to do now is we're going to create somewhere to show and display items. I don't want to do this as game objects because when the camera moves, a game object is going to remain where it was and it will go out of the camera view. I need to use something that will not move. This is where our UI canvas comes in. So I'm going to call this inventory canvas. Okay. And the inventory canvas is going to it's going to render whatever's on it to the camera screen, to our screen. So it doesn't matter where the camera goes, it's going to be stuck on the screen. It's like a heads up display. Doesn't matter if I look left or right, it'll be right in the middle of my screen. Okay, I also need to set this to a specific size. We are looking at 1920 by 1080. And that way, if using this scale with screen size, if my screen is at 720, it knows what the maximum was supposed to be, and it's going to scale it down. It's going to understand how to rescale my items on the screen. Okay, this thing is going to be huge. I've set it with 1920 by 1080, and it's looking at that as though we're talking about um, our units in Unity. So if I scroll out, that's a really big thing. This is not a part of the scene. So it doesn't matter where this is and where the scene is. This is just totally separate. So I'm going to start creating some stuff on this. When I open this, I want to kind of black out the background. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to say that it is, I want no image, none. And it's going to be just black and kind of transparent. There, that's good enough for me. Now I want to create the area where the items are going to be. This could be, you can get a graphic artist to do some really amazing work to get this done. Please do hire professionals or hire a friend who knows what they're doing. Give people a chance to help work. Don't do ugly stuff. I'm doing something ugly here just because I don't have the time to do something nice. I'm going to call this inventory, and this area is going to be, let's just call this inventory background. And let's give it a color. I don't know, bluish. There we go. On this area, I want my list to show up, and I want it to be a scrollable list. I'm going to need a couple of items here. I'm going to need to do an image. Okay. And let's give that a decent background. All right. This is going to be the scroll area. So inventory scroll. I also want on this background a button. So let's grab a button. And it's going to be using Text Mesh Pro. So I need to install that. So import it. Close this. Okay. And my button is just going to be a close button. So put it up in the top corner. In fact, I'm going to tell it to snap it to that top corner. No. to snap it 0, 0. There we go. And let's just resize that. Once again, 0, 0. Good for me. And instead of saying button on it, it's going to say X. Make it big. And let's go white. And the button is going to be red. There's our close button. So let's call this inventory close. Okay. Our scroll and our close. Now, on the scroll, I'm going to need a container that's going to hold all my items in it. So I'm just actually going to just duplicate the scroll, but I'm going to call this container. And I'm going to put it on the scroll. Okay, now we can start adding some stuff. This is going to take a scroll rect, and the scroll rect is asking horizontal and vertical, only vertical, and it needs some sort of container, some sort of content. That's our container. And that's it for now. I'll leave it for now. We'll get back to this. Now I need to create my actual items that are going to be shown. Let's go and look for those items. Sprite. Nope, what am I looking at? Let's take this one. Let's just grab one of these. Drag it. Oh, no. I'm going to create an image. Now, these are a transparent background. So I need an image that is going to be a background for this. And also, it's going to be a button because I want to be able to click these things. So I can just do UI button. And I'm going to delete the text. And I'm going to call this inventory item. And he's going to have an image on him, which is going to be the potion. And there we have our item. Let's make that go bluish. Dark. That's good enough for me. Okay. If I want to move this here and just create a bunch of them in here, I could try to just manually placing them, and that is not very nice, especially when these things are going to be created by our code and not by me. So I need to do something to be able to organize them. I'm going to use a grid layout group, and I do not need to do that first. I need to check on my item, and I want to put these to proper things. 128, and this is 160. All right. That way, when I add my layout, it wants to stick that into a cell size. So I want to make sure the cell sizes are the right. What did I do? 160? I think it was 160 I did before. Okay. Now when I duplicate these, it's going to place them in a perfect grid. Okay. A couple things we're going to have to look at. First thing, let us space this out a bit. So our spacing, I want a bigger spacing. That's good enough for me. I want to pad it a bit on the top. Well, I want to pad it on all sides. So if I make container bigger, I need to make the scroll rect bigger as well. container has to be, snap that to there, snap that to there. And so now I can do a left border, and I can do a top border. Whatever I put at the top, I'm going to put it on the bottom as well. Don't need a right border. That's good enough. All right, so here's a couple of the things. Oh, wait, I also need some Y spacing. There we go. All right, these are the things I need to look at now is that, well, I can see past the boundaries, and I don't want that. That's the first thing that is happening. So that will go back to our scroll. And on here, I'm going to also add a mask that's going to use that image and cut off anything that's outside of the area of this image. Now, if I hit play so we can see the functionality of it, I should be able to scroll up and down. Oops, wrong screen. Right. I pull down and it's doing an elastic snap back up, and I push up, but it keeps snapping back. It doesn't want to scroll down properly. And the reason for this is that the extents of this container are here. So that's the container that's scrolling. But we've got way more content in there. If I took this and I pulled it down, now this is the entire scroll area. When I hit play, now my contents can scroll. But as you can see, I'm also, it's scrolling there, but I don't have enough content for all of that. So it's going past. How do I get that to update automatically? First thing I need to do is I need to go to my item, and I need to tell my item that it is an element, a layout element, and it has a preferred height, 160. I'm going to take all the rest of these and delete them. Okay. Right now, I'm just going to focus on the item for a second. Because I've got it as a button, I've got it as a layout element. Move up. And I also want to create a script for it. Scripts. And I did not create, I've got an inventory panel, and I'm going to create a script called inventory item. Okay, let's just make a quick change to this. I just want to get rid of, first I want to say public sprite renderer SR public item SO item public, I think that's it. So public void setup, and the setup takes in item SO item, and in here I want my item to equal to item for now. Well, I can just do it all. Sprite render dot sprite is equal to item dot sprite, item sprite. That's our setup. And what else? Then I need a public void quickly And I'm just going to do debug.log. I was clicked. I am. And if you guys from item dot item name. Save. All right. That was a little diversion because I just want to get the item fully set up before I finish off the rest of this interface. Select the item, and we're going to add that item script. So, item, inventory item. I need a sprite renderer. Oh, sorry. It's not a sprite renderer. Sprite renderers are on game objects. This is on a UI element, user interface element. So this is just image. And sprite, it works the same way. So I'm just going to leave it as SR. I don't care. Save. Okay. I want to link the image into here. Oh, sorry, wrong place. Into there. Oops. Grab the right thing. There we go. And then the button, when it's clicked, is going to run a code from here, which is click me. Okay, so that inventory item element now that I have, I can now save that as a prefab in here. Now I want to duplicate this a lot of times. And I want to check to make sure that this container is going to resize. So I did set these to be a layout element of a preferred height. I'm going to come and take the container, and I'm going to tell it that add component fitter. So content size fitter. And I'm going to tell it that the height is going to be the preferred size. And you saw it snapped up here. That's where the bottom of those items are. If I hit play now, so that will dynamically change depending on how many items are put into there. And I can scroll up, and there's the bottom of my list. And down and top of my list. So we've got our list working. Now we need to be able to populate the list with some things. I can actually just get rid of everything right now. Delete. Here's where the inventory panel script comes in. So let's go and add the inventory panel. Let's open this guy up. All right. He also takes a public void setup. And he also takes in an item SO, which is called item. And he will also have public, what is it? Public, item SO, item. Okay, so that's the first thing that's going to come into there. The second thing is I need access to that prefab. So public, normally I might do that, but I want to do public transform item prefab. And I need the place where I'm going to be putting the prefab, which will be the item holder. And for now, that is it. Okay, first thing I want to do in the setup, let's just grab that item and stick it into our slot. So item equal equals item, oops, underscore item. All right. Next, whatever is we now need to take that prefab and find the list where everything is stored, and we store that on our player manager. So I'm going to say that I want to do a for each, and the collection is in the player manager. So player manager.instance.inventory, item inventory, and it's going to be item SO, and I can leave that as item. Perfect name. For each of those, I want to now instantiate the item prefab into the item holder. And once I've instantiated that, I want to then very quickly get component. And I know that that's going to have on it the inventory item script. Let's do this on another line. It's going to have that script on it. And that script has a setup in which I can then pass in. Let's rename this. Item what? Item list. Our list item. There we go. Because I do not want that to get confused with this. I actually don't need this. Why would I need that? Why would I need this? Why would I need that? Not passing an item into the inventory. Okay, so that will fix that up. Next, we want our public void close inventory. And that's going to be simple destroy game object. Because this panel is going to be a prefab. So when it opens, oh wait. So when it opens, it'll fill in the list. Okay. And that should be all I need for the panel. Go back to Unity now. And let's do some linking here. Okay, so I need the prefab. That's the prefab. I need the folder, and that's the folder. And the panel has the button on it, close. So the close will be this button. Okay, that's in here. And this is inventory panel, close inventory. And I think that should be it. Okay, save. I can now take this and I can bring it down into here, make prefab out of it, and delete it. Now we need a way to open our inventory. Let's go to our player script and put that on the player script. You know what? I'm going to stick on the player manager. Public. No. Public update. update if input dot get key up, not escape. Let's use I. So if that, and I also want to make sure that, and I want to make sure that the inventory doesn't already exist. So let's use a find objects of type, and we're going to be looking for the inventory panel, not equals to null. All right. Ooh, I don't want this repeating over and over and over again because it's going to be checking for the key up and checking for that. Let's just say that for X, only if I do the key up, then I'm going to check for this. And I know I should not be doing multiple, should not be coming in this many times. But I want to. Now I can, okay. The player manager is going to hold public. Should be a game object, public game object, and let's call it inventory prefab. So he's going to hold the prefab, and then he's going to say not instance. Instantiate prefab. And that's it. Okay. All right. So let's go back to our player manager. So he's going to contain these kind of elements that I can use over and over again, like the inventory and other heads-up display stuff or whatever. He's going to hold that stuff because he never goes anywhere. So he has the prefab there. So let's go to prefabs and inventory canvas. Drag that in there. And there's the item inventory. So if I hit run now, I can hit I, and it doesn't work. Why does it not work? Why does I, so get key up equal I. Oh, if it is null, sorry, not null. If somebody probably saw that and was yelling at me. If I look for this and it is null, create it. So if it's not null, it means it already exists. So don't create it. And I click I, and it created it. There it is up here. Okay, now I click this, and it deletes it. Now let's pick up some potions. So I have, let's click on PM. So there's my potion, the first one. So I said I. Oh, okay, I need to fix that. Very simple fix. You just pick up all my potions, and I. And there's my 3 potions, but it's not coloring them the right color. Why not? We will get to that. All right. So I needed to fix that problem of them being in the middle, and that's the item container should be snapped to the top. There we go. Save. Now, they didn't go the right color. When I create the inventory, so here's the inventory panel, I take this guy that's in the item inventory and I push him into the setup. And he comes in here, and here I put him into item, and then I say that the sprite renderer is equal to that. I know what went wrong. Okay, let's go into our inventory item. And here we see the sprite render I'm getting from this. That's the background. It's this that's the image. I was replacing the background and not the image. But that wouldn't work. Let's get back out of that and hit play. Come on. You can do it. There we go. Thank you. And click on PN. Here's our inventory. Let's, grab some potions. 1, 2, 3 potions. And let's hit I. There's our inventory. We've got them all colored. And let's go to our console. And I'm going to click on you. And that was the hit point 5 boost. That's the hit point 20. That was the hit point 10. Perfect. We have a working inventory now. And I can close that out. Hit I. Close it. Hit I. My inventory works. All right. We have completed our player movement, our animation, our scene tiles, an item, an inventory. The next thing we're going to do is an NPC that will be in the scene that we can have a discussion with, and that will be coming up in our next video. So until then, I'll see you later.